This podcast encourages everyone to practice self-isolation and social distancing. From all of us here at the Casual Nerds, stay indoors and stay safe.
This is the Casual Nerds podcast with Eri and Matt.
Hello, welcome to Casual Nerds, a podcast for casual fans. My name is Eri, and with me is
MegaDjMatt.
And it's been a while since we last did our podcast. Matt, what have you been doing during the past year or the past few months?
Just been working on different projects. Some have been released, a lot of them have not. Mainly because the people I work with are kind of sketchy. In a sense, when I say sketchy, as I mean like they'd be like, okay, here's a script. And when I got the script for one of the projects, I'm not even going to name drop it because it's not even worth it. It was impossible to read. They wouldn't do anything with it. They never gave me an official role. And it was a mess. And our deadline for this thing was yesterday. And nothing has been done for it. Except for maybe like an intro was done. Maybe one scene. And that was it. And we've been working on it for 3 months.
Oh my god, that's worse than the fan series.
This was like nothing compared to the fan series.
Well, for me, I've been working and I've been doing stuff for community radio. And now I'm stuck in self-isolation because the radio stations are closed. So, yay, fun.
Woo!
And if you just heard that other voice, that's because we have a special guest today. And you want to introduce yourself?
It's me, David, Eri's boyfriend, and that's all you're allowed to talk to me as Eri's boyfriend.
Yep, I'm inviting my boyfriend in this podcast because, fun fact, he's one of the people who's working at home right now. He could give really good insights on what that's like. So this episode of Casual Nerds is about life in self-isolation or quarantine, as we have some thoughts about it. I mean, I know it's for our own safety and the safety of others, and just so we can lower the curve and everything. But let's be real, we can't just be stuck at home all day. I know it's fine when we were kids, yay, we don't have to go to school anymore. But when you're grown up, you start to miss the outdoors sometimes. Don't you agree?
I miss being a kid.
I totally agree.
This would have been second Christmas if I was a child. I'd be like, what? 4-week break? Yeah, unless I lived in New South Wales when the schools are still open for some reason.
So apparently, yeah, if you're living in Australia, depending on what state you live, schools are still open during the outbreak. I don't know why. I think it's just the government and the state premier saying oh yeah, it's health advice from health officials, and it's just so that kids won't spread it at home or something. But here's the thing. There were 2 schools that closed down in New South Wales. I think it's now 3 already. And 2 of them are from senior students, year 10 to year 12. So I'm still wondering why they have to leave it open, and wouldn't they be safer at home? But I know Australia's leave your child at home rules. You cannot leave a child at home unless they reach a certain age. So it's
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what? We have that rule?
Yes. When
I did not know that.
Yeah. So apparently, I found out this when I was in year 6, and this was the reason why going to my year 6 graduation ball was a big hassle. It's because if a kid is not 13, you cannot leave them at home unsupervised. You need to have a babysitter.
Oh, when was that? When did that get introduced? I was not. I was at home way before that by myself.
This was in 2009, mate. So
no.
when I was graduating year 6, there was year 6 formal, and I told all my friends it's more likely that I won't be able to go because my brother needs a babysitter, and my parents can't afford that because we just moved to the country, and it's very complicated because it's just a bit complicated. And a bunch of my friends rallied up their parents, and then they all told me when before school starts, tell your parents if you need a free babysitter, I will take care of your brother just so you get to go to the graduation ball. And I'm like, okay, I will let them know. And my parents were hesitant because we were new to the country, so we are not sure, and we just couldn't trust everyone that closely yet at the time. And oh boy, yeah, so that's probably one of the reasons why schools are left open, at least in New South Wales. It's just because they don't want kids to be left at home unsupervised.
Huh, I did not know that. Yeah, it makes sense, but it's just like, I did not know it was an actual law.
Well, that's what I got, so this was in 2009, so it might have changed, or I might be reading the rules wrong, or I don't know. That's what I was told. But anywho, let's talk about self-isolation. What is self-isolation?
You want to go first?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking both of you.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just gonna go. I thought you were just gonna go off on something just to be like. Sorry.
As you may have noticed, despite David being my boyfriend, he never watched or listened to any of my content, so he doesn't know how this whole thing rolls.
There's so much of it. I haven't gone through it all.
It is like,
There's a lot to go through.
Such a prolific creator.
it's like
I just can't get through it all.
9 episodes of content that ranges from 30 minutes to an hour, man.
And I've got like 30 posts on Instagram. That's it. It takes you like 3 seconds to look through all my stuff.
Why are you dating a content creator, mate?
Because you're dating a content creator.
We have a bunch of content creators here.
Yay. We all do different things.
But yeah, what is self-isolation and self-quarantine?
So it's about basically just locking yourself in your room or your house. In my case, my room, because I live in a share house. And trying to limit contact with the outside world. So not much different to how I normally operate, but
self-isolation is, well, basically he just explained it all. But the way I've been doing it is I just been in my room trying to work on things. And the only time I really go out is if I need food, which hasn't been too terribly often. The last time I did it was 2 days ago. I've also been buying, other things like hand sanitizer and all that, which is not easy to find.
Wait, there's still hand sanitizer in your place, in your area?
I found like one actual bottle of it, and the other was like a small portable one, but that's all I can find.
Can you send me one of those bottles, please? Like, I'm running out.
Sure.
Yeah, we don't have any here. We can't find it. Not in Sydney.
I found one in a convenience store, and it's like a small spray bottle, and they're selling it for like $8.
Oof.
Yeah, that was nuts.
And it was like the size of my old concealer, like a small concealer from, I don't know, like one of this drug makeup. Like, it's that small. It's like $8 for that? No, pass, change.
Yeah. I'll send it to you if you just send me an address.
But yeah, self-isolation. It's basically being at home in a space away from other people, and and as part of self-quarantine, it's just so that we don't infect other people, especially our elders, our parents, and stuff like that. And it's all right in my opinion. Like, I understand, but it's just that, like I said earlier, you just miss going outside. Like, I miss going to movies, I miss going on dates, I miss working. And it sucks. And I know it's for our own health and safety, but it's just like, come on, I miss going outside, man.
I miss the park, and I live like 15 steps away from one. I can't even go to it.
Dude, I also live near a park as well, and I can't even go there. I can't even go to the mall anymore. And
I like shopping. I like playing card games. Can't play card games anymore.
Yeah, they closed the play area in the card game store that we go to.
It's just the fact that you have to be close to each other to actually like play you're closer than 1.5 meters.
Do you happen to play a child's card game?
Could you repeat that? I got a bit of lag on that.
Do you happen to play a child's card game?
2 children's card games. Well, one for mature adults. One for children.
which one's mature adults and which one's for kids. I would, if I were you, choose your words carefully. Choose your words carefully because that could be life or death once this whole outbreak is over.
I'll let you figure that out yourself.
So what are the self-isolation rules, self-quarantine rules that your area or your country has imposed? Like, for example, in my state, in New South Wales, they're now allowing police to give upfront fines of $1,000 for individuals who are like breaking self-isolation, social distancing rules, which will be difficult for me since I have to go to Centrelink on Monday or Tuesday or whenever I have time.
Centrelink is basically going on government funding for out-of-towners, basically, as in people that don't know what Centrelink is.
Yeah, basically, we're just getting money off the government, but we have to do certain things in order to get paid. And since everything is closed and no one is hiring and all that, I have to resort to that because, yeah, I can't live off with the money I have left. I mean, I still live with my parents, but it's just like, it's probably best if I get some help.
Has your landlord waived your rent fee?
The landlord is my dad, for everyone is like wondering. And yes, he waived my fee. In fact, he's giving back my rent.
Woo! Oh, that's nice.
He said, just put in your savings.
Mine's not.
Ooh, yeah. Apparently, renting is a huge issue in Australia because apparently landlords want
ridiculously expensive.
They just see people as like bank accounts, apparently, according to Junkie.
I mean, the problem comes from when people... I mean, it's not really a problem because nobody wins in this situation because landlords, it's a job. But your income comes from other people having jobs. So it's like, it's a job of a job.
Yeah.
And if the well dries up, that means nobody gets any of the water. So basically they have to, one of them has to keep afloat, and it's easier for a landlord just to say, no, we're not changing anything. They might not get paid because some people might just straight up be out of money. But they can't forcefully evict anyone. They still have to act within the law.
So yeah, what are some of the self-quarantine, self-isolation, social distancing laws in your state or your country? Want to share?
Yeah. I don't know too many because I haven't heard too much, but I know that like for example, when you go shopping for something like food or whatever else you need, like you're only limited to buy 2 of whatever you're getting. Like if you're gonna get hot dogs or just anything, you can only buy like 2 packets of hot dogs. And another thing is apparently on buses, only 10 people are allowed on at once.
10 people?
Just 10.
Damn.
Yeah. As for rent, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about rent. I don't know if ours is going to get waived or not, because we haven't reached that time of the month yet, which is coming up next week, actually. So I'll know then. But for now, like I said, I don't know too much. But a lot of things around here are closed, and the few things that are kind of open, like, I don't know, convenience stores or smoke shops or whatever, they're only open for like maybe a few hours. Yeah, there's very, very few things open around me, and don't even think about going to a like fast food restaurant place if you don't have a car, because only the drive-thrus are open and nothing else. The inside is like shut, it's closed, and it's just bad over here, and there's not much to do. I've just been mainly at home.
What about delivery?
Delivery what?
Food delivery.
As in delivering food delivery.
That's impossible right now because so many people are using it. I can't get a single time slot in to reserve food delivery.
Wait, you need to reserve food delivery in America?
Yeah, there's just so many people there. Whereabouts are you again?
What?
What state?
I'm in California.
That would explain it. There are more people in California than there are in Australia. And that's in one state.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
There are 33 million people in California, something like that.
Something around there, yeah.
That's 10 million more than Australia.
Dang.
I'm still trying to process it. Okay, we got a message from one of the crew of Casual Nerds, Andrew. He says that the same thing happens in the UK. There's like reservations for delivery. Really, I have to reserve for food delivery. All I can do, in Australia, all I do is just go to Uber Eats, say I want Macca's, and then someone on a bike would be riding all the way to my house. Or pizza, someone in a car.
I mean, last time I gave you Macca's. Last time I drove up to your house
it's
with Macca's.
supermarkets. Oh, and
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like that?
Oh, I thought you mean like, I don't know, like McDonald's home food delivery. So who is working from home? Who lost their jobs? How is this whole thing affecting us, like personally? Like, I know a story about this freelancer in New York who is unable to get gigs now because she works in the arts industry, and she is so grateful that Taylor Swift paid 4 months of her rent. So yeah, how is all of this affecting you guys, basically?
It hasn't affected me personally too much, apart from maybe a hit from productivity. Because we just moved all of the animators in my studio from to basically to home. Just like 200 animators or so, which wasn't not a small feat for only about 4 IT people. But basically, it took them about a week. Wasn't bad. They got on top of it pretty quickly, and everyone's just basically working from home.
I'm still good, still working. Just nothing's really happened to me. One of my roommates is still working. The other two, until things settle down, I don't think they're working at the moment. I know one of them isn't. I'm not sure about his wife. But I was just going to say, but, that's all.
For me, they just closed the radio studio, so they will only allow a few people, like the main staff, to go in. But I think now they're letting everyone work from home. So now I am preparing a show at home now. So that's fun.
Didn't somebody from the SBS here get some of the big sickie?
Oh yeah, that's true. Like, from what I know, one of the staff in SBS got a positive result, so they had to close down the Sydney building. So now it's all, so the people who works in Sydney are now working in their homes, while the other studios in like Melbourne are still open. There's also and here's something interesting. The head of Channel 9 Radio for news and current affairs, she was tested positive as well, but I don't think they're closing down that building. But from what I was told from someone that I know who works for Channel 9, they're all or at least I know they're working from home, but I don't know about all the other staff workers. But I'm pretty sure they're letting everyone else work at home, but I am not 100% sure on that. So yeah.
Big Mexican.
Oh yeah, if you're wondering, we're trying to not say the name of the disease because I know when it's like podcasts, you could say it and there won't be any issues. It's just that this is also going to YouTube, and YouTube has a huge issue whenever we say the name of the disease, the virus. So we're changing the names, and apparently one of the names that we agreed upon is, David?
The toilet paper conundrum.
Well, not that.
The big Mexican.
Yep. But speaking about toilet paper, how hard was it to buy supplies? Like, I remember my dad and I having to go to like 3 to 4 supermarkets and pharmacies just so we can get food and snacks because everything is selling out.
Can I have a motion to change the disease to Blue Eyes White Dragon?
No.
Pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. Thankfully, haven't had too much of problem because it's just me. And well, we had a few people in the house using like maybe some toilet paper. People weren't going crazy anyway, using up heaps of toilet paper, whatever. But in terms of like food and stuff, I only do a shop like once a week, and I spend like maybe $30 to $40. I spent a bit more last week just to stock up. But I just sort of took what I had because you got to when you're in these situations, you got to kind of like think on your feet as well about what you can make for food. You can't always just make the same things you might normally eat. You might have to scrape around the bottom of the barrel, I guess, to make ends meet, I guess.
When it comes to toilet paper, we oddly enough have not had too much trouble getting in it. I don't know how that's happened, but it hasn't been a big issue. For food, you gotta take what you could get because most of the places around here, especially near me, there's not much to go through. Weirdly, one of the places I found like a good amount of food, not the best food, but a good amount, was the 99-cent store, believe it or not. So I got some stuff from there. I got a little bit of stuff from Walmart, a few things from Winco. Just trying to find what I can get. Not easy. And like he said, you gotta scrape the bottom of the barrel basically on what you can eat. And usually I've been eating things that I don't usually eat. Like I would get some of those frozen sandwiches, those little mini frozen sandwiches for one, because it's something. Like the barbecue sandwiches. Do you know what I'm talking about? The fast bites? The fast bites? I don't know if you guys have them over there.
We have vastly different foods, like available.
I didn't know if it was over there or not, but yeah, they're like little frozen sandwiches. I've been getting those. And lasagna. Strangely, I found the lasagna. Just finding food, finding supplies. When it comes to hand sanitizer, you're only allowed to buy one thing of it from any store. Just one. And that's your limit. And like for most places, you could only buy two of something when it comes to food or toilet paper or whatever. So yeah, been struggling, kinda, but I'm trying to hang in there.
Yeah. Like for my folks, my dad had a hard time finding eggs. And luckily, they're now...
Why eggs? Why was it eggs?
I don't know. But luckily, the supermarkets allow healthcare workers to shop in the early hours with the pensioners and the people with disabilities. So, yay, my dad got eggs.
Yay, egg.
But... for toilet paper, it was so hard that it came to the point where my dad had to wake up at like 7 a.m. just so he can line up at 8 a.m. because Costco opens at 9 a.m. And now we have like 2 packs of 30 rolled 3-ply toilet paper in my bedroom.
Look, if worst comes to worst, I can always just eat the kangaroo I normally use to take to work.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sorry, Joey. You're going down. Man's gotta eat.
Oh my god.
That's some tasty.
Not gonna lie.
What, does no one else have a kangaroo that they use to ride in their pouch to get away?
I just got my pee, so I am not allowed to ride the kangaroo yet.
You get probationary kangaroo. You get a Joey. You get a little one.
So since we're all in like self-quarantine, it means that a lot of things have been closed or cancelled. So before the quarantine, before everything got shut down, what events have we we attended before this whole thing went down? Like for me and David, we both went to MadFest. That was fun. We met an animator. and he shook my hand. Yeah, he shook my hand, and it was just like I was freaking out, speechless and everything, because he worked on 2 animes that I watched, Mega Man and Sword Art Online. So I'm just like, oh my god, I grew up with your work, and I didn't know you were doing Sword Art Online. And it was like, yeah, and then we just bonded, and he shook my hand, and it was just like, oh, so amazing. What other?
It's true. You're a fangirl. It's true.
And he hasn't left me, so that's good. But yeah, what events have we all attended before the outbreak? Or what countries or places have we visited before they started doing travel bans?
Okay. I haven't really traveled because I don't really travel that often, but when it comes to events that I've been to before the outbreak, I went to a few concerts. One was a death metal concert, and that was pretty fun. I got to meet one of the lead singers for a band called Spite. He was pretty cool. And then the other one was a rap concert I went to with my cousins. Both times I went with my cousins because we like to check out underground stuff and all that. But yeah, other than that, not many events. I was going to go to an anime event, but because of what's going on, that got canceled and moved to a different date. We're not sure what date it's going to be yet, but it'll happen at some point. I mainly like going to the local anime events around here because weirdly you can find some rare stuff, like mangas, comics, sometimes some movies and TV shows too, like not even just anime ones. Like there'll always be this one person that's always selling a bunch of like random DVDs, and you'll find like some really rare stuff that usually online will cost like $60-$70 because it's been out of print or whatever.
Before, checking up with you, I didn't really go out very much. I would go out with friends in Melbourne. I'm not originally from Sydney. I'm from Melbourne, and we do I went to maybe a couple of anime places in Melbourne, but I don't know. I miss going to the movies. I miss. I don't know. I didn't really go to very many events, I couldn't tell you.
Well, for me, I was so lucky to visit South Korea just at the end of 2019, and now that's off limits, so that sucks.
Well, we were planning on going to Japan at some point.
Yeah, we were actually planning to go to Japan. We were gonna, but no, we can't go there anymore because it's travel ban as well. And I was hoping to take David to Vivid Sydney, which is one of my favorite events in Sydney during the winter. I was excited to go to Smash and everything, but everything got cancelled. The main thing that was cancelled that really made me so upset was Download Festival, because My Chemical Romance was supposed to be performing, and it was going to be my first music festival where I was going alone, unsupervised. And don't worry, I know how to take care of myself. And I have 2 friends who were also going, and we were just also excited. And sadly, it was cancelled. We got refunds, so thank goodness. But we were just looking forward for My Chemical Romance. I was so excited to wake up in the morning, to line up so that I get to be at the barricades, just screaming for hours. Because it's not only My Chemical Romance I was looking forward to. It was also Aless Storm, Lalona Coil, or Laura Coil. I don't know how you pronounce that, but I was looking forward for the
Lacuna Coil.
Did you call it Aless Storm?
Aless Storm. Why was it called?
Hailstorm?
Isn't it Ailstorm?
Oh, Ailstorm. I thought it's Aless Storm.
Sorry.
I don't know why. I don't know, man. I don't even know.
You go from French to Viking. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I only know them because they did that You Are a Pirate cover, okay?
Yeah, that's
Ailstorm.
Because they're pirates.
Hailstorm. Yar har.
Well, yeah, I was looking forward to that, but no, it's cancelled, so yeah, stuck at home. Yay, fun.
Woo.
One thing that has affected probably my family more. My parents were planning on going to a trip to Ireland, of all places. That's a good thing. They really liked it. They've been there before. But they had that planned for about a year, I think. Maybe just over a year. They were going to go in July. But everything's been cancelled, and some places won't refund them.
Oof, that sucks.
It's a bit strange that they wouldn't refund them considering the circumstances, but whatever.
I mean, they need to make money somehow, knowing that hotels are closed and recreation areas are closed and cruises are now off limits and there's travel bans.
Yeah, but they didn't do anything to make that money, So, if you know do you understand? It's just like saying someone just like, oh, well, you can't. We're not going to refund you because you already gave us the money. We haven't provided a service. We're just going to take your money. You could argue that it's theft, but I wouldn't go that far.
For my family, apparently my grandma was supposed to come over next month or this month. As I'm recording this, it's currently nearly the end of March. So my grandma was supposed to arrive at April, and because her visa was going to end, so she wants to make use of it before she reapplies. But due to the outbreak and knowing her age and health history and all that, yeah, I don't think she's going to be able to come and visit. Not to mention that the Philippines is currently under lockdown, or at least Luzon, the main island where my grandma is at, is locked down. Like, no one can get in, no one can get out. Even the main city is locked down. No one can get in, no one can get out. And so I've seen the news reports, the Philippine news, because my dad streams it on telly, and it's just like you'd see the amount of cars and people walking to work because they need to earn a living somehow, but due to lockdowns, it's gonna be hard.
Speaking of lockdowns overseas, some of our subsidiary animation studios that we outsource some of the like more tedious stuff to, I guess, or just maybe shares the load. I'm not really sure what they're for. Anyway, they have, because a lot of them are shut shop in India and some in the Philippines. Some of the stuff that I do, which is post-production stuff, well, kind of like it's near the end of production, you know what I mean? It's being held up. So my hours, because we just don't have the work to do, and instead of, having them pay us for no reason, they're gonna cut our hours. So I went from working a 40 to 48 hour week-ish, 45-ish hour week, to basically a 24-hour week.
Oof.
That's like part-time.
Basically. I think it's enough still to cover my rent, and I'm not going out when I'm not spending money on dates, which was one of my biggest expenses.
I am so
Thanks,
sorry.
Thanks, Eri.
Hey, just saying, I was gonna pay you back.
Sometimes you do.
Don't say that on the podcast. I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna cut this out. No, I'm just kidding. It's
I'm just saying that. No,
Oh, exposed.
no, it's stuff that I'm like I want to pay for, so it's not like
I am not a gold digging person, guys. It's just that he was insisting, and there are times where I also insisted, but no, he keeps insisting.
It's true, I do.
I'm willing to, I do pay him back, I really do pay him back, but a lot of the time he's the one who's paying because he just keeps on insisting.
It's just using me for my money, guys. Don't listen to it. All my $3 in my bank account. all that money. All that sweet money. What was I saying? Yeah, so they're out. My are being cut, and we're near the end of production. But on the other hand, it means I do get to stay longer, because originally my contract wasn't for the entire duration. And I was just going to go back to Melbourne.
Wait, how long are you staying now?
Oh yeah, I don't think I've told everybody this. I don't know. We're still news yesterday, so they're still
You get to
talking.
stay longer! Yay!
That's I don't know for how long, and I still think it's going to be. I still think we're going to be quarantined before I go.
Yeah.
So it's not great. However, I actually was in a call with my friends back in Melbourne just today, and even a lot of them have girlfriends and stuff, or boyfriends, and even they're not seeing each other if they live in different houses. So they're in the same situation we are. So don't worry, everyone's suffering.
So what are we doing now to keep ourselves, protected and self-isolated? Like, for me, I'm now going to be working on radio more at home since I now got new mic gear. My music composer friend, Marblu, he and I are going to be finishing Electronic Heartbeat, which is going to be another EP that I'm working on, filled with lots of great songs. I'm playing Animal Crossing now, so, oh my god, it's so addicting. I still have some books I have to read. Like, I have,
And
3 mangas.
who gave you that Switch?
Oh, yeah. Here's some. So, for those who are listening to this, David came over to my house by surprise, gave me a care package, and let me borrow his Switch because he saw my tweet saying that everyone is playing Animal Crossing and I'm the only one playing Sims. So I'm literally 3 days behind everyone when it comes to Animal Crossing, and I'm still curious to how someone was able to get a giant robot in the game.
To be fair, I also gave you my Switch, so I wasn't going to be distracted when I had stuff to do at home.
Yeah, thank you for that, but I know it's temporary, so I had to buy myself my own Switch, which it's so hard. It's like the toilet paper for gamers. It's sold out everywhere, and it comes to the point where retail. It comes to the point where they won't allow home delivery for Switches. If you buy a Switch Lite, yes, we'll give you home delivery. But if you're buying the normal Switch, sorry, mate, you have to go in store. And I know, and it's gonna be hard, especially for me, because my folks would let me leave the house to get an ID access card for my radio work. So imagine me wanting to buy a Switch.
Just imagine somebody as a mental image just wiping their butt with a Switch.
Not gonna lie.
Toilet paper for gamers.
I mean, not gonna lie. I mean, I could play Sims 4 for hours and won't need to go to the toilet because I'm just so invested in Sims. And this is playing the game without cheats.
I mean, you did cheat though, one time.
Okay. The only reason why I cheated is because I didn't want our Sims to be elderly. I want them to be forever young. Which I didn't know there was a setting in the Sims game where you can stop the aging process.
That's what I was saying. I was so new. I thought there was. I thought there was a thing for that.
Anywho, yeah, I've been playing video games. I still have some books to read, which I don't think I'll be able to because I'm going to be playing Animal Crossing, probably writing more songs, learning the ukulele again. What are you guys doing to keep yourselves entertained?
Well, I've just been mainly watching a lot of stuff on YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus. Just been catching up with some shows. Been trying to work on things, but the main stuff that I said earlier, was working on didn't really go anywhere. So I'm just gonna go look for another online project somewhere. I've been working on things. Not much really. There's not much to do. That's all I've been doing for the most part.
What about you, David? What are you doing to keep yourself entertained during the outbreak?
Well, I'm doing a podcast called Casual Nerds. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's well, I don't know. I talk to you a lot. Got some video games going. I can't really set up my graphics tablet to draw because I've run out of space. Because I had to bring my computer from work home. My that took up most of my desk space that I was given at my share house. I'm currently streaming to my TV from my on my computer, on my like personal computer.
Yeah, I saw
So-
that. He was like playing Magic the Gathering on his television. Magic Arena.
Yeah. Yeah, playing video games like Magic the Gathering. I played Quiplash with my friends over the internet, which was pretty cool actually. Having a good laugh there. Jackbox games available now. Yeah, I love Quiplash, man. It's so good.
So
It's hilarious.
So something new I added that I want to add in this podcast is that over on my Discord server, I ask people what they're going to be doing during their self-isolation and quarantine, and this is some of the answers. Joey said he's just going to be breathing. Cop to stop.
Breathing. Okay.
Cop to stop saying.
I should also add, I'll be breathing as well.
We're all breathing. Cop to stop said they're sleeping the depression away. Mood, absolute mood. Maestro said he's playing Wii games with his family. Bonzo is saying he's playing Animal Crossing. Comdex saying he's making fan edits. Toon Kid said they're doing online classes and being lazy. Carson is saying that they're watching YouTube videos, hang out with their family, and cuddling her dogs. Morgana said that they've been biking a lot around their local park and their house. And yeah, these are interesting answers from people over on Discord saying that they're doing all those things. However, I am concerned about the riding your bike part since you're not allowed to leave your house.
Stay inside.
But yeah, it's interesting that people are like using this time to either study or hang out with their family more.
I miss doing my own animations and stuff. I probably should set up something. It's just like this. I have not a lot of space.
Be an animator, YouTuber.
No, they don't
Be a
make
storytime
they don't
animator.
make any money.
You can be famous like Odd Ones Out. You'll have your own queue on VidCon.
What kind of stories would I even tell? I don't have a particularly amazing life.
That's the point.
What?
Just talk about your mediocre life. That's what I've been doing. And look where that got me.
Yeah, I'm good.
So once this whole outbreak is over, will you go outside more now? Knowing that before this whole thing, we just took it for granted. Like, oh yeah, going outside. No, I'm not doing that. But now we're stuck indoors for months. So once this whole outbreak is over, will you use that time to go outside more? Or are you just going to be an introverted person and just stay at home all the time?
I thought I would go. I was going out pretty often anyway. But I know the first thing I'm going to do is drive up and hug you. But like, if I'm still in the state, otherwise it might be a little bit difficult.
Hopefully VidCon Australia is still on, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But nevertheless, yeah, I would totally go outside. My folks allowed me to travel to Melbourne alone, so as long as I get the go signal, yeah, I wouldn't mind traveling to Melbourne if I could afford it. What about you, Matt? What are you gonna be going outside more once this whole outbreak is over?
Most definitely, I'll be going back to like doing daily walks and everything else that I kind of do to help stay in, somewhat kind of shape. But yeah, I'll be definitely going out more because staying inside all day sucks.
Yeah, it's funny how I think it's just because we're content creators. Our lives haven't changed all that much. We still can make things, and it's like we're I would say we're the minority in the case.
I mean, at least we are able to survive long hours indoors. It's just that I don't like doing it. I like going to work. I like going to the radio station. I love presenting, and now I have to present at home, which I don't mind. I don't mind creating at home. It means that if I stuff up, I don't get to embarrass myself on national radio, but I need the practice. I need to learn how to use the switchboard, man.
One thing I thought was interesting is that I hated the commute to work. And I didn't have a very long commute. I mean, I hate the commute, whatever. But it's just like when I was in my original studio in Melbourne, it was always like a long-ish train ride. Then I had to walk to the work. Then I had to get home as well. And I was just like, I don't like doing the commute. It's boring. But now that I don't have a commute at all, it's just like, oh, I don't know if I missed the commute. I think I just missed going outside for like 10 minutes.
So what have we learned from all this? Like, what have we learned?
I learned that I could use my time more wisely.
Okay, I guess this is a good way to end the podcast. So, yeah, thanks, David, for joining in. Thank you for taking your time to join this podcast, being part of my YouTube life, I guess. So, yeah, that's the end of Casual Nerds. If you want to listen to our podcast, it's now on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Play, Spotify, all that. And thank you, David, for joining us. My name is Eri, and with me is
MegaDjMatt.
And this has been the end of Casual Nerds. So see you guys next time.
We're not sure when that will be.